This is a video of our Japanese tour, October 2018, on day 14, Nagoya City. If you look in the middle of the map, you'll see Nagoya on day 14. We travelled on the fast train from Sakea Station down to Nagoya Station. It was quite a comfortable trip on one of their local fast trains. This is a photograph of the walk bridge across to the platform on the Sakea Station, and my wife resting in the train, and some scenery as we travelled at 140 kilometres an hour or thereabouts. I think I've mentioned it before, but everywhere you go in Japan it's neat and tidy. There's hardly any rubbish. People are proud of their country. We stopped at very few stations, passed through most of them. Here's a local train going in the other direction. Long winding rivers with plenty of rocks. My wife's asleep in the train, and we were pulling into Nagoya City itself and stopped a number of times for other train traffic. Sakea Station was huge, and we went straight for the information booth to get a map of the city itself. Part of our tour of Nagoya City was the Nagoya Castle, and here's a map showing the areas that were under construction and closed, and other areas that we walked around and visited. The Nagoya Castle was completed in around about 1612 by some joker called Tokugawa. He founded the Tokugawa shogunate. About 20 feudal lords were made responsible for the building of this castle, and a number of inscriptions with those feudal lords, marking of their identification, are found around the stone walls. In 1945 the Americans bombed the city and the castle was destroyed, and here's some of the remains in the precincts of the Nagoya Castle. Here's a photograph of Linda standing in front of the castle being constructed or repaired, and some areas we were unable to go in and visit, so that was a little bit disappointing. So we had to be satisfied with some selfie photographs. But here's a video of how extensive this reconstruction is. So some of the castle didn't burn, the corner towers and the gates and some paintings, and some of the Homura part of the castle survived the fire, and that's, of course, now it's history. And the castle was reconstructed in 1959, and ongoing repairs are still going on, and they've restored the entrance hall and a couple of other main buildings, including the main hall of the Homura Castle, only 7 years ago. We stumbled across this parade that was about to happen. Looks like a ceremonial. Hey, this is a parade. Join the line and follow us to see the castle, or something like that anyway. You can watch and listen. It was quite interesting. As we got closer to the main hall, or the ceremonial hall, we realised that we had to line up, and this line was probably 300 metres long. So before we did that, we had a bit of a look around the back of the newly constructed building, which I think was a replica of the meeting hall. You can pause this and read it yourself. Here we've got some lovely photographs of the Genkan entrance hall, where visitors would be led to and remain until the Lord would see them. And it was divided into a number of rooms, waiting rooms, and it was quite beautifully reconstructed, and the timber work and artwork were just absolutely wonderful. So as you walk through the parts of this building, it talks about the shogun would use the hallway to go from one place to another, and the quality and skill of some of the objects and paintings and artwork and ceilings was mind-blowing. Really, really lovely stuff. Just like everything else in Japan, their arts and crafts are number one. Somehow we ended up on the roof and had a bit of a bo peep of the surrounding areas. Couldn't see much, but it gives you some idea of the size of the place. There were of course a number of these, what I would call guard towers, on the corner of the castle precinct. This is a panoramic shot of as we're about to leave the castle itself. On our walkabouts towards the next destination, we came across a street market. This was between the modern city shopping centre and the traditional shopping areas. It looked like there was some kind of festival being planned and set up for the evening. And as you can see in the distance, we've got the Nagoya Tower. We didn't go up into the tower itself, but we had a real good look around. It's a little bit like the Eiffel Tower's base. So we continued to walk towards the OASIS 21 complex, and there was some kind of communication tower, and I was surprised how modern this construction was. And it's not until you get to the top that you realise how complex it is. But underneath the tower is the shopping centre. What appeared to be a shopping centre, some kind of festival or competition happening. So OASIS 21 is the new symbol of Nagoya, located at the Sakea Railway Station. And you can take a walk through the floating glass roof of this spaceship type building. As usual, my wife wanted us to have selfies of the different landmark symbols. garden area down below, and got a little bit lost before we moved on to our next tourist attraction to look at in Nagoya City. So the video was produced by myself, and it's the end of another exciting video of our Japanese tour, October 2018, day 14 of Nagoya City.